Alright, this is a 2208 Bldc motor, gimbal motor. You can get them online for about less than $20. And this one has 3 M2 threaded holes there, and it's got 4 M3 threaded holes on this side, on the fixed side. This is the rotating side. And what I want to do is I want to mount it to this cone, and the cone will go into this collet, which will go into the 1-inch EMT tubing. I also have this part, which is mainly used for managing the wires, to make sure the wires don't get caught up in the turbine as it's spinning. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to feed this wire through here. This has a fairly narrow slot here. In later versions of this I open that up a little bit, but it's the same way to assemble it. So that fits a little snug in there, like so. And the wires get routed this way. So then I take the cone and I have to align it with the holes. 2 of these holes are 18 millimeters apart and 2 are 15 millimeters apart. So there's 2 different patterns there. So we line up the cone with the holes, and I've got 8 millimeter long M3 screws. Just drop them in, and it might take a little finagling to get the screw to line up with the hole, but this is kind of how it works. Okay, I don't snug it up just yet because it has to draw the motor down a little. This one, it usually takes a little bit of fiddling with it to get it to work. Okay, I think these all have the threads engaged. So I'm going to draw the motor down to the cone. I'm going to hold on to the cone because there's really nothing resisting torque or forces on this other than the wires there, and I don't want to put a lot of force on those, so I'll try my best to hold the cone while I'm doing this. So snug that down, snug that down. That one. Okay, just make sure they're all seated. Okay, so there's the motor mounted to the cone here. This thing can still rotate, and that will drop into the collet like so, and then this part here protects this wire and keeps it directed downward so it doesn't get caught up in the turbine. Alright, I'm using some 3/16 inch wooden dowels to attach these together, just to make sure they're good and solid. Just cut them 2 inches long. Get a little epoxy in here. that sit for a little while. Okay, so now we have to put this on here. Might be helpful to put the screws in first. These are M2s, 8 millimeters long. A pair of tweezers is always helpful. There we go. Line those up. Hardest part is getting these holes aligned. Okay. And let's see. No, that's not going to work either. So, just a little trial and error here. Seem to be going. Just gotta avoid cross-threading. And there we go. There's the wind turbine. So hopefully it'll turn in a decent wind, a modest wind. Well, here it is on the pole. I can just plug it into a rectifier circuit with an LED or something, so I can do that in the future. It's ready to go. If I blow on it, which is I guess around 3.5 meters per second, I can get it to turn, because there's a little bit of cogging, but it might be a while before we see a wind like that, so I'll leave it up here. I'll post an update if we ever get some wind. It might be a month or two, so we'll see what happens. It's pretty small. Might be nice to even make it a little bit taller. I thought it would be good to have it small for that little motor, but got to make sure we have enough area so that it actually blows around too. So we'll keep an eye on it and give you an update.